Hi, and thank you for joining us. This is Sonya Flores of Faith and Vision Realty, powered by 10X Realty. Today, we're going to interview Spencer Lugash, our real estate broker and attorney here in San Diego. Spencer, thank you for joining us. You mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hey, Sonia. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be here and talk to your viewers and your clients. Yeah, so I am, as you mentioned, a real estate broker and attorney, both for over 20 years, 22 years, 23 years, respectively. I have been active here in the San Diego real estate market for most of that time. Have had a number of brokerages, including 10X Realty, which we have now, which has over 100 agents. And prior to that, I had a brokerage called Big Block Realty here in San Diego, which when I left, when I sold, we had about 900 agents. And it's one of the largest brokerages, independent brokerages here in San Diego. So I have a lot of experience handling real estate matters and dealing with agents and real estate issues. I also, as you mentioned, am an attorney and have a practice that I have maintained for the whole time called the Lugash Law Center, and is specializes in real estate law, specifically mortgage issues, landlord-tenant issues, buyer-seller issues, and so we've seen it all. We were there through the financial crisis, 2006, 2007, and the following years from that, and helped a lot of homeowners deal with their mortgage problems and landlord-tenant problems during that time. So you're talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I started by 2005, so I came in right during that 7 and 8 year, 2008, 2007, involved in that whole process as well, which is good for me because I learned a lot on how to hurry up and learn. So that was really good.
Right.
So questions, we want to put buyers and sellers, just the home ownership, clientele out there at ease with these questions, and just give information to questions that I know they're asking, and they've been asking me, and they ask, quite often to other agents too. One of the questions that's asked is, how do we view the real estate market right now? And are there many, like I said, there's many opinions out there right now, and we want to give, I guess, the best opinion that we have to put their concerns at ease.
Well, I mean, you just, as far as the real estate market in general, obviously, what we're going through right now has affected every industry, and not just industries, just every person in a unique way. How it is affecting our industry is unfolding day by day. The nice thing is, I can speak here in California, and specifically here in Southern California, but for all of California, real estate agents and the vendors that deal with real estate services are deemed essential workers, and so it's very important that they that we are allowed to continue to do our job. So a nice factor, first of all, that we are allowed to continue to perform the acts necessary to perform our transactions in real estate, because that only changed a few weeks ago. So that's step one. Step two is, are buyers and sellers still out there, and do they still want to buy and sell homes? There's a lot of uncertainty. Of course, we have buyers who have lost their jobs or are worried about potentially losing their jobs and canceling transactions. That is happening. The fact of the matter is, life still goes on, and we are still seeing many closings. We are still seeing new listings come on the market every day, and people are still moving forward with the transactions. The biggest issue that I think we're going to see is a delay in our typical time of transactions. So, in San Diego, typical transaction, as you're aware, takes 30 to 45 days to close escrow. We're starting to see some delays with that because of the kind of external byproduct of what Corona and COVID-19 is doing in our industry. So when it comes to appraisers, we're seeing appraisers take longer because they don't want to go into properties. As a result of that, we're seeing lenders being generous and allowing drive-by appraisals instead of a full appraisal where they have to go into the house, which of course puts everybody. Things are taking longer with lenders. People are doing everything from home, just like we're doing this, Zoom right now from our home. That's what a lot of people are doing, and that's great. But there's lag time there. People's connections aren't as fast. They have to log into servers when you're dealing with lenders, and they're logging in. The loan officers are logging into their offices from their home. It's just everything takes a little bit longer. The lenders are a bit more skittish. So things, again, are just taking a little bit longer. But we're still seeing a lot of transactions. And, we have agents that they have clients that they still are moving. They still have issues with their families that require them to move up or down. They still have new job issues where, they need to move here to San Diego because of a new job. We have a lot of military here. This is an unfortunate situation, but I know one agent of ours who just got a new deal because somebody was getting a divorce and they need to move out and they need to find a new place. So it's still going on. And those things, those life events that often lead to the purchase or sale of a home are still occurring. And so, I think that we're going to still see a strong real estate market. We're not seeing much of a price dip yet. And I'm not sure if we will. A lot of that oftentimes has to do with rates. And so, kind of this balance that we have in real estate, rates go up and we have higher rates and sometimes prices drop. And if money's really cheap and we have low rates and, demand to buy a home goes up and prices sometimes go up. Right now, we're seeing rates being held at kind of this artificially high rate, relatively high rate, I would add. I'm talking about in the fours, which again, from a historical perspective is
Still
low rate. But considering a month ago or so, we were at low threes. Fours considered to be a little bit higher, but I think that we're going to see that change too as the lenders start to feel a little bit more stable and we start to come out of this Corona effect and people are feeling just, again, more confident and stable about the economy and their jobs and just life in general.
Yeah, that's true. I know we had a couple of buyers, they're VA buyers, and they've had, I would say VA buyers right now probably have the lowest rates.
Without a doubt, VA has incredible rates and incredible terms. You don't have to even put any money down if you don't want to. Of course, the more you put down, the lower your mortgage loan amount will be, and therefore that's the lower your monthly payment will be. But VA has some fantastic deals right now. So if there's any VA eligible buyers out there, this is a time for you guys to really look into things and take advantage of that great product that you have available to you, and then go out in the market and make sure that you're finding something great.
Definitely. Now, can you give a little explanation on the government mandate, the 3 months, no evictions, no foreclosures, and how that could have an adverse reaction or outcomes, for our rent?
Yeah, I'll just say there is very little information on what's going to happen next. As I said at the beginning, I had my law firm during the last recession in 2006, 2007, and we dealt exclusively pretty much with people who were losing their homes. And that had to do a lot with mortgages, obviously. And there were short sales and, the market crashed and people couldn't afford to pay their mortgage and their house wasn't worth what their mortgage was on it anymore. And we dealt a lot with that. Unfortunately, I am concerned that we're going to see something similar to that here. Now, not in the sense that we're going to see a lot of short sales, because I'm not foreseeing that the market is going to crash and people's home value go down. But the fact of the matter is, whether it's mortgage or rent, people are being given a break right now. But there's nothing that has been discussed about what happens when this is over. Now, with mortgages, that's there's a little bit more certainty of what somebody can expect who's getting a forbearance on their mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you asked about rent, and I'll get to that in a second, but for those people who are mortgage homeowners or mortgage, who have a mortgage homeowners, if you have talked to your lender and your lender has said, listen, you don't have to pay your mortgage this month or for the next 3 months, or however long, without a doubt, they have set the terms as to what that means and why, when you need to repay. For hopefully many of you, the best case scenario, frankly, would be that the mortgage lender would just add those months onto the back end of your loan, right? So you have your mortgage and you're paying mortgage for 360 months. Now you're going to be paying your mortgage for 363 months. They're just going to move those payments, and you have 3 extra months at the end of your mortgage that you'll need to make your payment. That's kind of best case scenario. Worst case that they're going to come back and say on the 4th month, let's just say nothing gets extended, or we're just using these kind of arbitrary timelines because that's what's been on the books right now. But they'll come back on the 4th month and say, hey, you had a mortgage payment of $2,500 a month. It's now in the 4th month. You owe us your mortgage payment of $2,500 this month, plus you owe us $7,500 that you didn't pay us for the last 3 months. And we're looking for $10,000 from you right now. And of course, that doesn't help a homeowner who hasn't been working for 3 months and doesn't have that money. If they had the money, they would have paid it during those months. So, hopefully the banks will start to work with those people and offer some type of modification plan. And that's something that we have helped with in the past, can help with. When it comes to rents and landlords, this is kind of a new area that we didn't see before. And yes, there is a halt on evictions, both from the CARES Act on a federal level, and then we see it from a state level, and even down to a local per city. And we have one in effect here in San Diego. But the fact of the matter is, all it has really said is that right now, during this time, a landlord cannot evict a person for failure to pay rent. But there is nothing in there that talks about what happens when this is over. So similar to kind of what I was talking about with the mortgage, when this ends and that eviction ban is lifted, I think we're going to see a lot of a lot of tenants, renters in trouble, because their landlords are going to come to them and say, hey, we need that money. We need that money to go pay our mortgage. And so unless there's some additional legislation that comes out of this, which is very possible that the government, whether it's state, local, or federal, tries to come up with some new idea of a plan to deal with this later on. Right now, what I suggest is, if you are in a position where you are not paying your mortgage, first of all, make sure you you're not paying your rent. Make sure you contact your landlord before your rent comes due, and let them know that you expect that you won't be able to pay your rent, or that you won't be able to pay the full rent. Explain to them why. Obviously, we're going to have some people trying to take advantage of this situation, but hopefully the reason it has to do is COVID related. You lost a job, you got downsized, you put on furlough right now, and you don't have money coming in. Then let your landlord know, and then you might want to start working with them now to say, how do you intend or expect, what are my options of how we can deal with the amount of money that I'm going to owe you when this is over? And is there some type of repayment plan that we can come up with? Is there some type, can we put it on the back end? How can we figure this out? Again, that's something that that is going to be a new issue. As much as the government has talked about these things, I don't think they've really set forth what they're going to do at the end of this, and how they're going to handle it once it's over.
Yeah, that's true. What can we do to help those that are, never mind. Once the stay-home mandate is lifted, how do you see the results of the pandemic affecting home ownership? And I know you talked a little bit about this, but here we're talking, 3 months down the road now.
Yeah, I think again, I'm not expecting a huge drop in home prices, so that I don't, hopefully we won't be seeing a lot of short sales like we did a few years ago. But I think, again, that how we're going to affect homeowners is those are the people that have received forbearances or couldn't pay their mortgage, or a period of time, they're going to have to go back to their banks and figure out how that's going to be accounted for. Otherwise, I think that we're going to get back to, I think it's going to be a very slow process to get back to what we consider normal. That's just my opinion, but it's going to take quite a long time to get back to what we considered to be normal before this started. And I think things are going to open up very slowly. There's still going to be a lot of meetings like this because people, whether it's government mandated or not, people are going to be concerned, and they're going to want to keep distance and social distancing from other people. And so I think for a while, we're going to continue to see that. So, from a homeowner's perspective, it's just a matter of whether or not they can, they have the finances to continue to do what's necessary, required as a homeowner when it comes to upkeep and paying mortgages. And hopefully we will have learned from the crisis in 2007, the financial crisis and the bubble then, as to how banks can better handle loan modifications, better handle requests for help than they did back then, when it was kind of so robust and yet so quickly and so new. But now they've been through this once before, so I think that we'll see a much easier process this time around for homeowners to deal with their banks in getting help.
What can we do right now to ease their concerns, as far as how can we affect them once the mandate is lifted, especially those that are in the verge of losing their homes? Because I have a couple clients that have, they got laid off right off the bat. They're not making the payments. They live paycheck by paycheck. How can we help them?
Well, I think the best thing that they can do for themselves, and that we can do for them if they want our help, is to be proactive. Whether again it's with their landlord or it's with their lender, and let them know that they're going through some financial troubles, and that they let their lender or landlord know that they can expect to not receive a mortgage payment, or to receive a partial mortgage payment or a rent payment during this time period, and start talking to them now as much as possible what the landlord or lender is going to be doing for them, or what options they might be making available to them as we move forward with this. It's very easy. It's easy for me to say that. And so again, that's why we're here, and we've been doing this a long time. And I know you're here for your clients as well, Sonya, because, oftentimes we can be experts at something, but when we have to do it for ourselves, we kind of get paralyzed. And so it's nice to have somebody else that can come in and help with that. So that's, something I always help with, is to start reaching out to these different entities and start working on something, so that there's not this fear of okay, now the eviction ban has been lifted, or the mortgage forbearance period has ended, and now what? We'll have an idea of what's going to happen before we get there. That might put them at ease.
One thing that came to mind right now is one of the reasons they stopped the foreclosure ban. They did the mandate to stop foreclosures for 3 months, is obviously because there were some that were going through foreclosure. So here it's almost like they have now 3 months to figure this out. So what I would like to do is you give your information and how you can help them. Better to do a short sale than lose their home in a foreclosure. This is actually an opportunity for them.
That's a very good point. There are people who benefit from this, and I'm not, no judgment there, but there are people who were about to be foreclosed upon, never got started for other reasons, other financial reasons, and they're getting the benefit now of having this extra time, for sure. And so, yes, that's a good time for those people to relook at the situation and go, okay, well, how can I avoid foreclosure? I might not still be able to stay in my house, but maybe time now to find a buyer, and get a short sale going instead of foreclosure. And that's something we can help them with in dealing with and negotiating with the bank. It's something you can help them with, obviously, in helping actually list their house and find a buyer for them, so that they can avoid that foreclosure process. So yeah, my information. So I'm Spencer Lugash. It's my brokerage is 10X Realty, but probably more importantly for this meeting, my law firm is the Lugash Law Center. You can reach me at email at sl@lugashlawcenter.com or by phone at 619-957-2841.
Awesome. Great. Because I think this is a great time. Again, I mean, it's not a great time. I don't take what's happening, for, I just, it's bad. It's affecting a lot of us, even real estate agents, scared to go out there, or their buyers backing out and saying, we're going to wait because we don't know, we don't want to start going to people's houses and all that. But there is this little opportunity for those that are in the verge of losing their houses to be able to contact you. Don't just sit on the fence thinking, okay, I have 3 months to just not do anything and not having to move, but take that time to prepare, to be able to find a place, to be able to sell your home, even if it's a short sale, and get you on the road of correcting your credit after that and buying a future home. You know what I mean? So thank you, Spencer, for reaching out. Thank you for coming on this webinar with us.
My pleasure. And that's great advice, that, take this time that you've been given to, to the best of it. And we're happy to help through that process.